Hello, viewers. This is yours truly, Namdi Okorafor, native of Nigeria, diaspora in the United States, California to be precise. I have worked many years here uh, in the healthcare field. And as I get older, as I move up in income bracket, I understand the need for all African descendants to go back to the continent and invest in the continent. There's this idea that has floated for over the years that the help from the continent has to come from the West, or it has to come from somebody else. But the reason why most of us left that continent was because we were in search of a better life. But the truth is, no other continent will receive us better than the motherland, the African continent. No other continent will has more in store for us. Now, over the system that we are in was designed to keep us ignorant. And when I talk about us, African descendants, ignorant about uh, brothers and sisters in other countries. Like as a Nigerian native, I don't know very much about other countries in the continent. There are 54 countries in that continent. It's a very large, resource-rich continent, and we were never taught that in school as growing up as kids. On this other side, on the West, most Westerners only have one image of the African continent, and it's all negative. So there's something there. Um, I've learned so much. I thank God for YouTube. I thank God for Google, the internet. The fact that that information has been democratized and we're learning much, learning a lot, way more than what we were taught in school. We're learning that on the internet now. We are exposed to the fact that there's possibilities. If you're interested in investment opportunities, you have double digit returns, possibilities of double digit returns in simple investments, simple business ideas. I'm talking about not even reinventing the wheels, pretty much just taking what exists here and replicating it on that other end, and you make way better returns than you would ever make on this continent, out here in the West. It's also an honor. It's up on us that are out here, especially us here in the diaspora, with the access that we now have, the education that we now have. It's the onus is on us to go back to the continent and invest. And going back to the continent doesn't mean you need to go back to the country that you're from. There are 54 countries, and each one of these countries have their individual personalities. It's really on us to just explore. Allow yourself that opportunity to try out. I've been involved recently in Rwanda, and I'm very impressed with that continent. This is a continent that went through a lot in their history. A very dark time in the 90s when there was during the massacre, the genocide. And since then, they have taken giant steps at improving their lifestyle. They've created a path towards making Rwanda one of the greatest countries in the world. And that to me is a model that needs to be replicated across the continent. It's up to us to do that. So, all allies of Africans, all African descendants need to go back to the continent and invest in it now more than ever. I mean, the recent unrest all over the world is a call for us to go inwards and search and make very deliberate steps. If you're in the education sector, if you're a teacher, you need to go back to the continent and teach entrepreneurship and teach things that will actually, and I'm not talking about the old curriculum that we all grew up on that that teaches you to be an employee. I'm talking about a curriculum that gets you ready to be self-sustaining. A curriculum that teaches you how to manage real estate, how to raise crops, cash crops, growing a farm, agriculture, food processing, these basic things that seem elusive on the continent, we can do it. The internet is here. YouTube is here. There are a lot of payment platforms. Cryptocurrency is here. The future is now. So we need. This is the time to take advantage of the opportunities that we have on that continent before others do. Because believe me, everybody else can see what's going on. Only a few of us can actually have are brave to take that step. And I'm encouraging you guys out there to make that move. You're not gonna regret it. Forget all they talk about corruption and war and all these things. It exists everywhere. I mean, the United States, this country is just as unsafe as anywhere else. It's the greatest country in the world. It's afforded me so many opportunities that I'm grateful for. But it does not mean that the continent Africa is doomed for failure or does not does not demand the same level of attention that we put in things everywhere else. Okay? And that's my message for you today. Let's go build that Wakanda for real. We can do it.